all yours.
This morning I want to talk about the deconstruction of ambivalence, which is a mouthful. And what it really means is unpacking our mixed feelings and our conflicted meanings. And part of the reason we have mixed feelings is because we have conflicted meanings. So I say to you, what does your wife mean to you? And if you're feeling good, you'll emphasize the one part of the bucket of, large collected mixed feelings over time. You'll share the glowing ones, the good ones, the familiar ones. If you're in a desperate situation, because you might lose her, you'd actually emphasize a different collection, including your fear. Fear of losing her, your sense of being unworthy. In your case, your sense of being guilty, maybe she should leave me, maybe I would. The bucket of mixed feeling, whatever it has in it. And this is how we relate to life. It's our bucket. We stuffed it with all these meanings and all these feelings, and we act like somebody else handed it to us and put shit in there that we didn't want. It could have been God's idea, or somebody coerced us into this, reaction or this response. And in other words, as we go through the bucket, we disclaim a lot of it. When it cannot ever be anybody else's bucket but our own that we're talking about. You don't hold anybody else's bucket. In your bucket, you might have meaningful items that involve your relationship to other people and the items in their bucket. I make a living that way. Right? What's in your bucket? I'm Samuel Jackson. What's in your wallet? Right? What's in your bucket? And what's interesting is, and this is why I'm such a whiz at figuring people out. First of all, I recognize that every single bucket comes with a certain sub-collection of things. There's the sex bucket, there's the body bucket, there's the mommy and daddy bucket, death, illness, loss bucket, self-esteem bucket. And I don't mean separate buckets, but that material in your bucket. I know that stuff is in everybody's bucket. Growing old, do kids have much going on about growing old? Yeah, but at a certain point in time, doesn't everybody? So inside, and this is kind of what gets the fuck it bucket too, the segue there, bucket. The bucket of the meanings and feelings attached to meanings. So I refer to these as the givens. You're 40 years old, it's a given that you sense the clock is ticking. If you're a woman, in our culture, because it's not universal, right? Some of these things are almost universal. You're a woman and you're in your mid-30s and you haven't had a child yet. You have the biological clock, right? You get to be 60, and it's, 60's a new 50. I can say that today. You have a sense of your mortality. In your 50s, you're worried about dying young or getting sick or something, but you're not saying, oh my God, this is my last chapter no matter what. You turn 60, you start to say that. There are some things that, because we're built the same way, and to the degree that we're talking about individuals with the same kind of nervous system and relatively similar upbringings and date and time, 21st century, because I'm sure it was different for people back in the year 1100, or 7000 BC. The people you're going to meet today, the people I'm going to talk to today, they have all these subsets of pockets of meaning and feeling states connected to them. And none of us are tending our buckets well because this need to disclaim some of the elements in it. And I'd like you to think about the concept of personal responsibility and how it links to self-awareness this way. How do you take full responsibility for material you're lying to yourself about? Do you see? You see the human dilemma right there? We have the power to distort what we know. And so the material in our bucket, which is determining our life, our behavior in our life and what our life means to us. And we're busy camouflaging some of it, putting lipstick on the pig, pretending some of it belongs to somebody else, blaming some mysterious force for sticking it in our bucket. And people say, I can't blame my history. Well, you know, most of us do. It's not a matter of blaming your history, but it was during your history that the stuff entered in the bucket. So history's not important just because it caused the present or the future. It's important because it deposited to the bank, the bucket, the collection. What did you do with that collection? Well, I pretended it didn't exist as soon as it happened. Well, it's still in your bucket, taking up space. And you're actually still relating to it as an organism. On top of whatever you're doing to avoid it, which is effort and energy, it's also doing sneaky things in the background because you're not busy watching it. The healthiest thing a person can ever do for themselves is continuously deconstruct their own ambivalence.